All right, friends. So today we will be talking about how we plan our lives. Planning our lives is the topic of today. All Saints' Days in some parts of the world. So the first question we ask ourselves is, do we plan? Did I plan my life? Or is life at random? Just like soul, body, random encounters. So in Spiritism, we know that we, to a certain extent, plan our lives. Some of us will plan more, some of us plan less. And we know it's not at random. So I was here incarnated, I am here incarnated for a specific purpose, in a specific place. Many plan with the help of who? Their spirit guides, the constructor spirits, as we're going to see later. What are the implications of knowing that life is planned? So if I plan my life to a certain extent, what does it matter that I know that it's planned? What doesn't matter?
I think it gives you energy to persevere when times are tough. That our challenges are part of life, and not just unexpected roadblocks. That our challenges could be part of the plan.
It gives us also what we call agency, right? If I'm here and somewhat is planned that I'm here, I resist and I also continue. Oops, something happened here. And I resist. And also I take ownership of what I do while here. Okay, that's fine. Now, some of us will, as we see, plan. Some of us plan a little bit less. Our free will is relative. Only absolute free will is God's free will. However, the actions we took in past lives dictate the life I have today. Therefore, I planned, even if I didn't plan for certain things, based on the things I did to myself and others. Therefore, I'm planning today for the next life that I'm going to have. If I resolve the thing that I came to resolve, I start a new set of challenges and experiences, or I will come back to with the same people to try again and try again. So think about this. We are planning right now the actions of tomorrow. So if I eat well today, in 10 years, I'll have health. If I don't eat well, I'll have less health. The same with each and every life. Why do we reincarnate? Many religions believe in reincarnation. You know, that where I came from, in the church, they believed, God created the soul the moment the body was created, or God breathed life into the infant when it took its first breath. Other religions do believe in reincarnation, but why do we reincarnate? The spirits will tell us in question and answer that we'll go back a little bit. What is reincarnation? It is the return of a soul to a body. And this body is unrelated somewhat to the body that you had before. Even if you are reincarnating in a family circle, meaning we're coming back with the same folks in different configurations, the body that I have today doesn't have anything to do with the body I had 200 years ago. So we're not recycling bodies, we're not getting into the bodies of others. One soul, one body. We reincarnate to be better, to atone for the things we did, and to progressively better ourselves. So humanity gets better when each and every one of us gets better. Without this, where would justice lie, right? Let's think about this. We're talking a little bit later about where and how as we reflect upon our own experience. As we get to pass the clipboard for you guys to make notes. So imagine if we just came back randomly, no plan, that would be a very difficult way statistically to progress. So there's a plan, there are rules. Sometimes God imposes these lifetimes on us. Well, we don't want to think about God imposing lives, but it's in the question and answer 337. God can impose the lives, but normally those lives are imposed on those who are a little bit younger in the evolutionary scale, meaning you are closer to your first reincarnations than today. Or sometimes we have to go through things, and throughout many lifetimes we didn't, and now we return to a specific place with a specific body, with a specific type of people to take that test if we're unable to progress. Through two examples, we're going to talk about planning our lives. And the first example is the book And Life Goes On. In the scene on the top left, you have three incarnate beings, Bridget, Marina, and the maid. Andrea Luiz, this is the last book of the series Life in Two Worlds, where he describes Evelyn is in the spiritual realm, Bridget is Evelyn's mom, and Evelyn inspired Bridget to offer to adopt Mariana's baby. Mariana is pregnant, she has other children, she has a spouse, she lives in a poor neighborhood, and spoiler alert, we'll see next week more details, she will have the baby, and Bridget will adopt them, the baby. So as Mariana gives birth to the baby, you see all the names of the players. So you see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 incarnate beings on the birth, and 1, 2, 3, 4 discarnate beings. That's how it was chosen to be depicted, probably many more. As Brother Claudio, who is helping this group of incarnate beings come to terms with what they need to do, he's there to guide the birth of Desideria, which is reincarnated and it's going to have another name. Bridget and Amancio, now in a little older age, will adopt Desiderio because Desiderio and Amancio had some issues in the past, and Desiderio had to come through and for Amancio to atone some of the things they lived and did to one another. And then Evelyn and Ernest. Evelyn, remember, is the daughter of Bridget. Amancio is the stepfather of Evelyn. They will be there for 30 years, Andrea Luiz says, making sure that the family, this family and another family, the people who are reincarnating, are going to meet and come together again and atone. So here we see that even way before someone comes, that person is, Bridget could have said no. Desiderio would still be reincarnated, but now they would have one more thing to deal with, which is they were supposed to accept this soul and they didn't. So they decided to go this path. Sounds good. So she was inspiring. And we have, these are familiar spirits, so we call them. Evelyn and Ernest are not mentors or guides or guardian angels. They're just part of the family. They realize their condition. They have the ability to work, and they will be with the family, helping guide the decision. So Desiderio and the other babies will meet when they are older to come together and do what they have to do. In the book, Missionaries of Light, Andrea Luiz describes to us design and planning pavilions where plans for reincarnations are drawn up. So remember, these books were written in the 40s and 50s, and you can see they have posters, they have computers, they have people working, which things that you and I have today, not back then, they didn't. And they describe to us there are hundreds of technicians in matters of embryology and general biology, so to guide the future lives of all brothers and sisters. So when we discarnate and we say rest in peace, yes, we rest for a little bit, but work continues. So when we specialize in something, we can be of help. And in this scene, you are seeing hundreds of people. You can see here someone walking with their little squirrels, their little details, where they are with their mentors making decisions. If I return on this family, what is the DNA that I need to be short, tall, larger, smaller, on this place of the earth, that place of the earth, right? Many cities have colonies that accept us when we discarnate. We go there and we study, we come back. So there are details being planned, physical limitations, and they say they serve to safeguard temptations of a lower nature. So let's think about our own lives now. If we were able to pass through all of these, irrespective of which place we came from, which city, then my physical limitations were drawn up. Some physical limitations we acquire based on the actions we do on the earth, right? So it's very, very well cared for. We are, each and every one of us, that's why it's so important that we support those who reincarnate, that we want to support their development in the first 3 years of life and childhood, give them the resources, want to make sure that everybody has good resources to raise their children well, because they will be the citizens of the world. And then, because it's difficult to fulfill a reincarnatory plan when we reincarnate. Later in the book, he is going to go into details of the reincarnation of Sigismundo, which describes to us Sigismundo. This is a scene in the house of Rachel, and forgive me, I forgot the name of the father. Let's say the couple here with a little baby. Those are the incarnate beings. And this is a scene that could be happening in many houses around the world every day. The Sigismundo is the spirit that needs to reincarnate on this family. But Sigismundo is prevented from reincarnating on this family because he and the future father have taken some actions against one another that are preventing them, Sigismundo, from returning. They're preventing conception from happening. Then these are the spirits here. His brother Alexander is here, and other spirits. And Andrea Luiz is observing. He's doing his internship. And the spirits will say that for many weeks he was there. So right now you're having dinner, breakfast, lunch. There might be spirits lingering around, enjoying the meal, or are being used, because when we reincarnate, we want to be acquainted to the spiritual fluids of that person, the person's spiritual body, so on and so forth. Then the spirits will say, compose yourself, friend. The mentor is saying to him, shouldn't it be a reason for happiness to receive a chance for redemption? Let's not disturb our friend's dinner by emitting energies of despair. Very important thing here. We can disturb our dinner, not the dinner of others, by having energies of despair when we are depressed, when we are tired, when we are using words that are not good, or we're watching things that are not a good nature. And the spirits are around us taking on the life. So he is discouraged because he wants to reincarnate, but he's also afraid he's not going to do a good job reincarnating, right? Just going to start a new job and you're afraid they're not going to succeed. Later, they resolve their issues for many times for intelligent sleep. The mentors put them together, discuss, they agree, and then they show that they help the constructor spirit. The spirits help Sigismundo shrink his spiritual body, and then they stay around the couple for the first 3 weeks to ensure that that zygote, sperm cell with egg cell, form a zygote, one cell. Then Sigismundo is attracted to that one cell and is already there with Rachel. It's a beautiful scene where he's delivered to her. She's taken to a field of flowers. with her grandmother, showing to us that if something doesn't happen, doesn't go through, it's likely that it's because of our actions, but they protect the couple for that amount of time. And that's very important for people to think when they're planning to receive someone, how are they acting so that it can be promoting of that spirit to return. So now that we've talked a little bit about planning the life and examples of planning, let's think about ourselves. What are our own reincarnatory plans? Because that's what we're talking about. Are the reincarnatory plans a specific list, checklist? Somewhat. Does it allow for shortcuts? Yes, if you work hard, you can hasten your progress. Does it allow for detours? Yes, because God is so gracious that give us free will. So let's think through this for ourselves. Where did I reincarnate? And why here, not elsewhere? I reincarnated in a specific place. There is a specific environmental set of conditions that I needed to experience. So if I grow up as a child in the Arctic Circle, the things around me and the environment around me, the things that I'm going to be exposed to, the cold and the ice and the traditions and the food are going to be different if I'm born in the equator. So if someone is born in the equator, they're going to learn their physical body, physical and very spiritual bodies are going to experience something different. Also, the culture, the language, the resources that are available in the US are not available elsewhere for certain people. I'm talking about resources, laws, availability for if you come with a disability, for example. It's a much more friendly country here than elsewhere. And then our family members might be dispersed elsewhere. We would go there. So next life, I'm here today in the US. Maybe next life I need to be born in Australia or India or Pakistan or Europe or whatever. So whatever the experience I need to experience or learn is where I'll be. And each and every country will give different spirits different experiences. So let's think about, why did I reincarnate where I reincarnate? What did I need to learn there that I couldn't learn elsewhere? When we think about reincarnatory plans, because some folks say, well, but I don't really know my plan, I'm not a medium. But the Spirit says, if you follow the Know Thyself, which is question 119 in the Spirit's book, and I start to analyze, okay, where was I born? Where do I live now? Who am I? Aside from the names and the titles and the physical body that we have, we're spirits. Who is my family? Who received us? Remember Rachel and the husband, they received Sigismundo for a specific reason. Or who is the family I'm creating now? Where was I born? Where do I live now? Because some people are born and they stay, some people move. And what are the experiences that I would have had if I was stayed and if I moved elsewhere? God give us free will within the parameters of our reincarnatory plans that allow us to know of ourselves and understand through the experience of daily life, what am I here to do? What are my best traits? What are the things, and when I say best traits, I'm talking about spiritual traits, not just good skin, good hair, tall, short, whatever, or athletic ability, right? I'm talking about my kind and my patience and my understanding. I'm talking about the traits that we see on the second category of spirits in the Spirit's book, the good spirits. What are the things that I already can do really well here in interaction with others? And what are the things I need to work on? Where I am and where I need to be tells me what my reincarnatory plan is. So if I notice that I am short-fused anger and I'm not patient, there you go. That's your reincarnatory plan. God will put us in different environments that will be conducive to learning those things. Okay. What do I like? What do I dislike? Am I good with math? Am I good with science? Am I easy to learn languages. So these are the questions we want to ask ourselves each and every day. Because we want to have a plan that says in 10 years I want to be this. Not just in 10 years I want to have a house, a car, a job, retired. But what are the things I need to learn in this life? In 10 years I'll be better. So hopefully today, if you look 10 years back, we are better than we were. We're better today than we were before. Because we want the slope to be, the progression to be. And the progression will be slower. We might be better at some things today. We might be worse, not worse, but the same as we were when we were teenagers, right? And then hopefully we are better today than we were when we were very young, because now our brains are developed, we have self-awareness, we have impulse control. And if we put it all together, we say, where was I born? Where am I now? Who is my family? Why them? Not elsewhere, not somewhere else. Why that person who drive me crazy was there? Maybe we were together in a different life and we messed up and then we come back together, right? And then the things that I am now help me be a better person tomorrow. So today I can choose to work on my traits, choose to strengthen the best ones. And if I understand myself, I can be better tomorrow. Another example that we bring is the book No Solar, very easy to read, where we see that André Luiz is in No Solar. His mother is past No Solar, in a spirit colony that they don't name, but she's there. He goes visit once, she comes down to visit. His dad is in the lower zones with his mistresses. So that was a whole planning, where there was a moment of lucidity where he was able to, the dad was able to realize he needed to reincarnate. He accepted the challenge, even though he wasn't able to totally free himself at the time from the companions. And who were those companions that were keeping him there? The mistresses he had when he was alive. Some of them, apparently. So the mother decided to reincarnate, asked, right? Because we don't decide to reincarnate. We ask the super spirits to reincarnate. We have to wait for someone to be there. Now the birth rate is lower, so I have to wait a little bit longer. And then those people have to come together, and then they have to have the right DNA to come together and bring a child. It takes 10 months, and then a bunch of things can happen. So it takes decades. So she decides to reincarnate. And then she's going to receive him as a husband. So he's going to have to, they both have to have families to reincarnate back. And families are different, families in different places, because you want, or of course, you don't want genetic material to come together to close. And then they will receive the two mistresses as their children, so that now they can redeem themselves, learning to love in a different manner, instead of love of spouse, love of child and parent. So the same way we were planned as well. So each reincarnation for you and I is planned, is prepared. So they don't plan and don't prepare, right? It's, oh, I want to reincarnate, and boom, reincarnate. The good and kind spirits are there. You saw the pavilion, right? We plan here, and it might take decades before you come back. And there's plenty of spirits, the spirits tell us, waiting for an opportunity to return. And if we don't give them the opportunity to return here, they will have to go elsewhere and have to wait for a different opportunity. So it happened here. In the book Messengers, this Spirit, which is the next one after No Solar, André Luiz describes to us what? That those messengers, which were mediums distributed in different religions throughout the earth, yes, different religions have mediums too. They had decades, 3, 4, 5 decades of preparation to be a medium when they came back, and many of them didn't do. And they knew they could hear the spirits, they could see the spirits, the mentors would come and warn them, and they didn't do their part. So we have to be much more watchful. Remember, Jesus said, watch and pray. Watch and pray so that we keep on the line. We keep on the line. So when we plan, let's see. Oops. And each reincarnation is a fresh start. Let's say you say, okay, but someone planned, therefore I am destined to be who I am. I'm not going to change because they planned it this way. No, we plan, it's a roadmap, just like before maps or now with the apps. If you take a wrong turn, what do? Recalculating. Well, the GPS don't do that anymore. But she doesn't say rerouting. In the beginning she did. They would suggest a different route. Just because I was born elsewhere and with these people, oh, that we're gonna hate each other, we're gonna be love and hate and fight. We are the way. No, God brought us to fresh start. Why is a fresh start? Because when you get a new body, remember the definition of reincarnation was that you came with a body that is unrelated to the body that you had before. So during childhood, the first 3 years, you are born with all your neurons and then you're pruning. You're pruning. What does that mean? You are strengthening connections between cells, which means you're strengthening pathways. That means you're strengthening behaviors and attitudes and actions. The same way you need to crawl to stand to walk, and then the more you do it, the more you reinforce it. A fresh start means that we come and we're small and cute. We produce a lot of work for the parents and the family, but we look cute, so they put up with it. But all the inputs, you're fresh. We can develop new habits. And most of us bring the habits, the sum of all the habits, in the mix of all our lifetimes, and we don't change. We don't move. So it's a fresh start. You remember I asked you about where you were born? So this life you might be learning a different language. Next life you might be in China, and then you learn the language that is with the symbols. Or you might be in Siberia, you might be learning Spanish, German, Portuguese, or whatever. You're also going to be learning what? The habits of the people that receive you. And then hopefully, if the parents are mindful of their job, which is to guide us to God, they will prune us in our traits that we don't like, and they will reinforce the good traits, and we will grow to be kind, resilient, compassionate. So we want to think today, as we have planned our lives. Today is the Day of the Dead. No, tomorrow is the Day of the Dead. Today is All Saints' Days in some parts of the world. As we think about where am I, where I want to go, who I am, how can I today be blessed and thankful for this start so that I can plan a better tomorrow and, in consequence, plan a better arrival in the spiritual realm. And next life we come back with the same people, but in a more loving relationship than a more adversarial relationship. Okay, so before we pray, we are going to collect donations for the food bank in these times of needs in our country. And then we're going to have a list for people to take if they want. And we'll deliver it right before Christmas so they can give it to our brothers and sisters in need in our community. And the Chesterfield, we used to volunteer with the Chesterfield Food Bank, and they have a specific list of items they look for to give to the families. Every Saturday they have donation drives for their clients in different schools. Each school gets at least 150 families, probably way more this month and next month, due to the challenges of the government shutdown. And then we will do our small part by getting items to donate for them. So we're gonna go ahead and move into our prayer and passes. So we're gonna leave the ones who are with us in the internets for now. And if you guys have any questions, any comments, please write. So we can, I'm sorry, friends, I clicked something. So please write to us, send us a message, visit us in person. Until next week, many blessings.